council, there's 144 members. There's male and female members, and there's many different times. Elizabeth, you remember working with the animals on in Atlantis, but you worked on many other people that contributed in different ways. Okay. Yeah, I'm working on it now.
Yeah, it just see, Paul's going to be doing some working. We're having some issues with Spreaker loading and reloading. And,
Well,
yeah.
we've also had a retrograde too, so we have the effects of nonlinear time.
Okay. Yeah, it is having some issues. I'm sorry for this.
Okay, it feels like it's settling down.
Okay. Yeah, I just felt some movement. Right, so I've been around for 5 billion years. Guess what? You're listening to the oldest known talk radio host.
Well, not Elizabeth. Not Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a young woman, and she's doesn't look 5 billion years old, but she has been around in other incarnations.
Yes. Well, I like the way, sometimes people get, they look at a few incarnations and they go, ooh, ah, ooh, and I like the way the Koreans, my friends who are Koreans, tell me about this, that if you even bump up against somebody on the street, brush their sleeve by accident or bump somebody, you've had 5 million lifetimes with them before. So they really, have a sense of time, of spiritual time, in Korea, especially the Buddhists. So, all right. So Sirius B started life here. The Sirius B Council was involved with that. Now, in your recollection, in my recollection, Sirius B started life here because Sirius was going to be taken out by the sun, and they tried for a long time to keep life going there, and it wasn't possible to do. Is that your recollection, or have I got a partial on that?
Well, they were in physical form. But they went into their etheric light body, and they stayed in their etheric light body. So they're not in physical form. They're in their etheric light body. That's the difference. When you see people on Earth, they're in a physical incarnation. They're not. You don't usually see them in their light body initially. You can if you're a medium and you can see them, but typically people see everyone in their physical body in their incarnation here. It's not that way on Sirius B. They're all in their etheric body.
Right, and my memories are from back when it was before everybody went into the light body. At that time, they were preparing some people from Sirius B to come to Earth in physical bodies, and then part of what I was doing, what I remember at the time, is I would go into the astral. I would spend time in the astral working with the council, and then I'd go back in a body again and do work on the planet in a body with animals and with sound, and then I'd go back and work with the council again. And it was pretty regulated at that time because things were dropping off. It was before the planet had its final death throes, but not too long before, and there weren't a lot of the changes started at the time I was there, that I remember, the lifetime that I've been to and time traveled to. The changes were coming more rapidly, and so there really was this push to find another planet for the evolution of spirit and consciousness in the physical plane, and Earth was part of what was being discussed. And
you were involved in the feasibility trip. I was also present where we went to Earth and we looked at the planet. It was before life was established here, and we wrote up an extensive report about it, and we saw there were a lot of issues, a lot of things that had to be overcome, and we were somewhat surprised that this was the final choice, but there wasn't a lot of other options, and it had to happen pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was it. There were a lot of issues also with, this was a planet where you needed a certain amount of aggression that we didn't have. And I remember that being an issue, that it was sort of like you're coming to Earth and you're sort of taming this incredible aggressive energy, or the idea was to tame a sort of aggressive energy that the Sirius B folks did not have. And the thought was, well, if we didn't become a little more aggressive, we wouldn't survive. But if we became too aggressive, life would not be worth living. And it seems like that also happened with Atlantis, that was part of the issue.
Part of the problem was we were in the 777th dimension on Sirius B, and we had to go to a denser dimension on Earth, and we went to the third dimension, and we thought it maybe was too dense, and we couldn't bring in all the technology. We couldn't, as you go down from the 777th down to the 44th to the 15th to the 13th to the 8th to the 5th to the 4th to the 3rd, you have less resources. As you keep dropping dimensions, you can't use the technology, don't have as much in terms of your memory and your resources. So we started with the 3rd, and Atlantis was trying to work out of the 15th so we'd have more resources. But what happened is it didn't work out as we wanted it to, because the people went totally into their mind and ego, and they shut their hearts. So we went back to the 3rd, although we weren't happy about it.
I see. So basically you were trying to ground a bigger battery, a bigger amount of energy on Earth than had been here. So when you're talking about going from the 777 to the 15th to the 3rd, to me it's like you're going down levels, and there's just less and less light, there's less and less energy. And
it becomes denser. It becomes denser,
right.
And it's heavier, and you want to be in as high a frequency as possible. But there were different conditions on Earth that we had to work with, the gravity, with the energetics of Earth, and yet we didn't want to strip people down or dumb them down to a level where they didn't have the resources. So Atlantis was an attempt to operate at a higher frequency, but we had to deal with the planet and the conditions here, and gravity and different things that were particular to Earth. So we tried different things. Not everything worked, but we learned from everything we did.
Yeah, and that seems to be how it is. Now, do you remember if there were other people on Earth that weren't in Atlantis at the time Atlantis was around?
There were, but Atlantis was a unique situation because at the time we had Atlantis in a holographic field, and it was way below sea level, and the people that were on Earth were in other places were on land, and they weren't near Atlantis, and they really couldn't reach Atlantis from where they were.
Okay, so they weren't really aware of what was going on, or they wouldn't. There wasn't a back and forth in between, which would be the two. Was there, or were there people from Atlantis working on Earth to set things up?
Well, Atlantis was a completely different trial, or a different civilization than the other civilizations that were on the ground, that were not in a holographic field in the water. So we also had 3 pyramids that communicated with Sirius B from down in Atlantis, and I think they discovered recently a pyramid that was glowing that was in the Bermuda Triangle. That was one of the 3 pyramids that communicated with Sirius B from Atlantis.
Oh, interesting. That's very, very interesting. I did not hear about that. I will have to look up the glowing pyramid in the Bermuda Triangle. But that is where Atlantis was. It was located in the geographic area of the Bermuda Triangle. And so what happens now if somebody goes and tries to find Atlantis?
Well, we did a couple things to protect the technology from falling in the hands of madmen or people that could possibly use it against Earth or against people. And what we did is we created a vortex that took anybody that went in that area where the Bermuda Triangle is into the vortex and into a black hole where they never came out. And basically we made it a force field that nobody could go down and salvage or take the technology that was left behind. And we didn't remove or destroy the technology. What we did is basically unplugged the power source and flooded it, and everything was still left there. So we were concerned about future people coming down in submarines or salvaging different equipment and possibly it falling into the wrong hands or being misused. So we just made it an area that wasn't possible to go to, and if people tried, they just didn't come back.
Well, that sounds really friendly. I mean, so is that what happened? And you ended up, I mean, that's what happened with the planes and things that have disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle? They've gotten too close, whether or not they intended to?
They got pulled into the vortex and went down into the black hole. If you were outside of the field, or you were like on the exterior of it, you could possibly make the voyage and get through to the other side okay, but if you went right into it, you got sucked into it like a vacuum cleaner.
Wow. Okay. So that would not be great. So folks, don't go looking for Atlantis if you can manage not to. Because I would hate for anybody to end up in a black hole. Besides the fact, given that it is that deep. So why would it be, you know, if you've created if the Sirius B Council created a black hole that you would get sucked into if you went to find Atlantis, and Atlantis was very deep under the ocean, why would it be that things on the surface would get sucked in? Would there be changes in the energy of the black hole, or changes in time, or different Earth energies that would affect it?
It was a holographic field that we started in the atmosphere above the water, and it teleported whatever entered that field where we directed it, which was into this energy field or vortex, and then sent it through to a black hole. That was using Sirius B technology.
Okay, and we have a comment. They didn't mean for me to share it, but I'm going to share it. John in the Spreaker chat room says he personally believes that both Atlantis and Lemuria lasted for hundreds of thousands of years. Now, earlier in the show you said, well, it lasted for about 3,000, but we're also talking about a civilization at a higher frequency in a different dimension, and we're also talking about somebody on the Sirius B Council where they don't really do linear time the way that we do linear time. So if you're thinking it lasted about 3,000 years, was that actually 3,000 Earth years or 3,000 Atlantis years?
It was 3,000 Atlantis years, but I can't really see it from other places in Earth or calibrate it very well, other than Atlantis. And Atlantis was in the 15th dimension. That was it was running a lot differently than the rest of the planet.
Being underwater and having an energy field protecting it, you're talking about animals and people being in Atlantis. So there was some pretty major technology that kept the ecosystem going. Was that powered by the crystals that were left behind, or do you remember how that came about?
How Atlantis was powered?
Yeah, and also just, it's quite a feat to create a whole ecosystem under the ocean. You've got to have plants and animals and air and lots of different things.
Well, we had a holographic field that kept the water out. The only other place a holographic field is mentioned is in a Bible story about when the Jewish people left Egypt. They went into the sea and they opened up a holographic field and they walked into the sea, but there was no water where they were walking. And then the Egyptian army decided they wanted to bring them back, and they went into that holographic field, but the Jewish people pulled it forward and it flooded the Egyptian army, and they all were killed. That's the only other example I've seen in the Bible of a holographic field being used. What we had in Atlantis was a holographic field that kept all the water out for a long, long time, and there weren't any floods, there weren't any breaks where the water came in. The holographic field kept it out.
So that's very interesting what you're saying about the parting of the Red Sea being a holographic field. And we could go all sorts of places.
That was only the other example, and that what they did, what the Jewish people did, creating that holographic field, that was the same technology that the Sirius B Council used for Atlantis. But I haven't seen it used anywhere else since then.
Or anybody remarking that it's been used. I haven't any idea that it's been used either. That is very, very, very interesting. So you were talking also about Atlantis. It was both human and AI. And AI had a lot to do with the eventual downfall. Do you remember how that happened?
How the downfall happened?
Yeah, with the artificial intelligence. That AI had quite a bit to do with human beings changing, whether they were in their minds or in their hearts.
Well, there was a lot of issues with people not being treated equally, about animals not being fed food, about abuse, and about very strong stances by some people at the expense of others, and things were not done equitably for the civilization. And we came in several times, intervened to try to settle down disputes and to balance out the heart and the mind. But the people that were in Atlantis wanted to make decisions and to work out of the mind and ego, and stop connecting in the heart. And it was easier with the artificial intelligence, with the AI, and with the technology to just be very focused and in your mind. And over time, it became a very cruel and abusive civilization to most of the people. Maybe a tenth of 1% controlled what was going on, and they were not being very kind or supportive or compassionate to the others. And it was even worse for the animals. And we intervened, but at a certain point, it was like someone in intensive care on a ventilator, that if you turn off the ventilator, they would die. There was no support, and the infrastructure got so cruel and so aggressive that we decided that we couldn't really fix it. It had gone too far, and we asked the ethical questions and looked at if we were to stop this civilization, the AI and the machines wouldn't really matter. You just would turn off the power supply and they would stop working. But the people and the animals would be traumatized by the abrupt termination of the civilization. So what we did is we set up a dimension for them to come back to, and worked on clearing the trauma out of the DNA and healing the animals, healing the people after the civilization was terminated, and then they reincarnated. So we felt that they would be okay, but they would need to be given a special assistance after the incarnation ended.
Okay, so because it was so abrupt, it was like a cataclysmic, taking a lot of people out at the same time. What happened in the astral after the animals and the people left Atlantis? What was the triage? Do you remember?
There was a lot of Cirrus B assistance in taking the etheric bodies out in mass, and it felt almost like nothing was left from the life cycle. The life cycle was pulled out and teleported and crossed very quickly, and basically was in a spiritual hospital.
Oh, okay. So a spiritual hospital on the other side, and I've seen that before. I've seen that from other people.
It wasn't something where you could leave 50,000 people and tell them, well, if you want to cross, we're here for you. We had to take out the people in their etheric body in mass. We couldn't leave people here and there and then work on them if they decided they wanted to go across over and continue. We just took everyone out. It was a massive transport, basically.
Okay, that makes sense. So, since that time, I know everything's happening at the same time for folks on the Sirius B Council. Has there been another civilization that's been experimental in between Atlantis and what's happening now?
What questions did you have about Atlantis after the civilization was terminated? Did you have anything specific you wanted to know about it?
Yeah, has there been another one, another civilization that was formed other than Atlantis in between then and now? Can you hear me, Paul? Paul, can you hear me? Oh, Paul. Can you hear me, Paul? Okay. Able to hear me. Hello?
Elizabeth, I wanted to do one thing before we ended. I wanted to run the crystal array frequency holographically. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you can't hear me. So we're having some issues now with Skype as well. You know what we're going to do? Hang on here while we deal with some of these issues. Paul, can you hear me? Paul? Okay. We're going to get our Skype back up again. I'm going to recall Paul and see if I can get him on. Hold on one second. Very interesting conversation. I wish we weren't having the issues that we are having at this time with both Spreaker and Skype. I'm not sure why this is happening. It is Mercury retrograde. Hi, Paul. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I wanted to know if I could run the Atlantis crystal array in the 15th dimension for about a minute for the listeners so they can connect with the vibration with the frequency.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, it'll take me a little bit to get the frequency running.
So Paul is getting the frequency running from Atlantis. The crystal array is the energy that used to power Atlantis. Apparently that energy, that crystal array, is still somewhere here on Earth. Don't go looking for it. You know what will happen if you go looking for Atlantis. You will end up in a black hole, and I'll miss you very, very, very much. Paul, how's that going?
Okay, the energy is starting to cycle through. It's a purple energy. It's purple colored energy. And the effect I'm feeling is my left hand is vibrating very, very quickly, very strong. And it's going through, and my right hand is projecting holographically. Can you feel it?
I can feel it a little bit, yeah. I feel it at the back of my neck and
Starting to get stronger.
Yeah.
Starting to get stronger holographically.
Paul is running energy, and let's see. We're still having some issues. If you're hearing us, let us know you're hearing us. And let us know if you're feeling any of this energy. Are you feeling it any place in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, any place at all? Let us know. And John says we can look for Atlantis in the Caribbean. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather look for underwater UFOs. Anybody want to go to the Caribbean with me and fund a trip? I have intentions of looking for an underwater UFO base at some point in this lifetime. And let's see. Yeah. Okay. Folks are hearing us. That's great. How's that going? How are you guys? Are you feeling the energy? Let us know. And I've got some more questions for Paul. So, some of the issues that we see with AI today, artificial intelligence, you're talking about AI sort of speeding up the effect of people being in their minds instead of in their hearts. But wouldn't it also have something to do with being able to control more information and using that information for greed versus information for healing and for taking care of people? Does any of that resonate with what's going on today? Because I read about, a lot of AI, and a lot of what AI is doing is taking the human equation out of things like healthcare and all sorts of services that are human services. It's reducing them down to an algorithm, and a lot of times human beings aren't reducible to an algorithm. Is that what happened in Atlantis?
Yes, it was. There was also decisions made of what was going to be given to people, or what was the official position on different matters, and it wasn't always for the highest good of the people. A lot of times it was for greed. It was for the benefit of a small group, maybe 0.1% of the people that benefited greatly, and the other people were at a terrible disadvantage. And information was filtered, manipulated, and controlled, so people only got the information that they were given. They didn't see everything clearly, and there was not a free press. It was controlled, and the artificial intelligence controlled what people knew, or what. There was censorship, there was manipulation, and that wasn't what we wanted, but that was how people operated in Atlantis because of the egos and the trying to accomplish certain things, and it was corrupt, and it wasn't getting better. We tried to fix it, and then it continued to corrupt, and it became a situation where the advanced technology actually really caused people to disconnect from their heart and close their heart, and it was horrible.
It sounds like people got emotionally traumatized, and then were just traumatized again and again and again and again. And with that amount of trauma, it's very hard to open up your heart. It's very hard for the human energy system to handle that in a way that doesn't involve closing down the heart. Is that what was happening in the interrelationship with the AI? Because AI is unemotional, so an AI is not going to empathize with a human being in a situation, and especially if you have AI running things like law enforcement, or the judicial system, or behavior. Your AI isn't going to care about the human reasons why people do things, when they are operating out of their heart and it just goes a little bit awry. So they're not going to have a compassionate reaction. And with lots and lots of algorithmic driven non-compassionate reactions, I would think that everybody would just be like beat on. Was that what it was?
That's exactly how it felt, and the people felt like they were oppressed 24/7, and didn't really have anything to look forward to. It just got really, really bad, and this was using advanced technology, but it basically ruined the 50-50 ratio between the heart and the mind and ego. It became more like 99.9% mind and ego, and a fraction of a percent heart or no heart. And we were kind of at a point with, like, what do we do? Because we brought the technology in and we created this to be able to have more technology, but the technology wasn't used for the benefit of all. It was used more to control all the people.
Right. So today we're having similar problems. We're having AI coming in. You have this position, this concurrent lifetime position on the Sirius B Council. How would the Sirius B Council tell us? What would they tell us about what we're doing today? To turn around, go the other direction, don't get involved in AI. What's going on with us that is concerning in light of Atlantis?
Well, we know from what happened in Atlantis that when you get too much AI and you use the algorithms all over for every type of situation, you take the heart out of life, and there has to be a certain balance, and it has to be used with discretion. And I don't think they're using it with discretion right now. They're just trying to apply it to everything possible, and there really isn't any way of balancing it or regulating it because one, people don't know how to use it, so they're kind of experimenting, and there really aren't any regulations or any kind of guidelines of what's okay and what isn't. So it's running amok. It's not as advanced as it was in Atlantis, but it's going in that direction, and it's basically going to stifle creativity and ruin people's feelings of hope or opportunity in the future. People are going to feel very limited.
Okay, we're gonna continue a little bit of this conversation and then go into Psychic Sunday after the break. I do have to cut us off for our break, but we'll be right back with Paul Simons and Medium Paul, and he's going to give you his email address at the top of the hour. Paisley Town will be in. Stay tuned. We're going to also work on our Spreaker issues. We'll be back. This is Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin.
Hey Space Travelers, it's Joe Roop, your host of Spaced Out Saturdays. Come join me as we explore the realms of the paranormal, the esoteric, and everything in between every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. You know the truth is out there. Don't get caught sleepwalking. Come join Spaced Out Saturdays. That's every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, right here on spacedoutradio.com.
365 days a year, we're in the field, investigating UFO sightings, talking to alien abductees, and visiting secret military locations like Area 51. We're UFO Seekers, official partner of Spaced Out Radio. Follow our daily search for the truth at ufoseekers.com or like us on social media. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
From coast to coast to coast, Blacklight Uncharted is taking on the paranormal across Canada. From ghostly hauntings to the UFOs flying above in conjunction with MUFON Canada, we're closely investigating what's going on in the northern skies and checking out the apparitions that walk among us. Check out our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com. We want to know your thoughts, we want to hear your experiences, and we want you to share your stories. The answers are out there, and we intend to find them.
Would you like to become one of our space travelers? All you have to do is click on the Space Travelers icon at spacedoutradio.com. For only $5 a month, you can get access to some great prizes, as well as private monthly shows, newsletters, and a members-only section on our website. Become a space traveler today.
It's paranormal news at its finest. Welcome to The Encounter. At spacedoutradio.com, The Encounter online is SOR's trusted news source for everything weird and strange going on around the world. This is news editor Eric Markham. Our team of journalists are scouring the planet for those strange stories that rarely make the mainstream. No fear-mongering or fake news here. Head over to spacedoutradio.com and encounter The Encounter.
Want to learn more about aliens, cover-ups, conspiracies, cryptids, and the paranormal? All you have to do is tune in S4 as we take over the Spaced Out Radio night, starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, each and every Saturday night, right after Spaced Out Saturdays. Hi there, this is Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. Join me, Corey Ruse, and friends as we discuss the hot topics of the night. It's fun, entertaining, and as dark as the night. Find us at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
There's a lot of strange going on in this world, and we can help you find out what's going on with you. Paranormal, cryptids, UFOs in the sky? Aliens in your bedroom tickling your toes? We have the investigators you need to find out the answers you deserve. All you have to do is head to spacedoutradio.com. Your information is 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines Report. It's free, and we're here to help.
Do you want to know what's really going on in your world? Do you have questions about who you can trust in the mainstream media? Then look no further than the Rebel Planet. Come get the straight answers right here at spacedoutradio.com. Join me, Jamie Sexton, creator of Rebel Planet News, as I fill you in on the stories behind the stories. All you truth seekers, be sure to tune in to Rebel Planet on spacedoutradio.com the third Thursday of every month.
Are you an experiencer? Have you had run-ins with strange creatures you can't explain? ETs, Dogman, Bigfoot, werewolves? They're enough to scare the daylights out of anyone. Hi there, I'm Butch Witkowski from your 4-Cop. And on the last Monday of every month, you can listen to me and the host, Dave Scott, talk about the weird and the strange being reported on Spaced Out Radio. I'm going to bring my investigations and sources, you bring your experiences, and we'll figure out the rest together. Strange Days on Spaced Out Radio. Come tune us in at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you interested in advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Head to our website at spacedoutradio.com and click on our advertising tab. There, you will find an assortment of ways you can get your product out there with us, from radio commercials to banners and social media. Have a product you like our hosts to endorse? We can do that too. Visit spacedoutradio.com for more details.
Don't have time to listen to Spaced Out Radio live? Wherever you are, the car, the office, the shower, or even if you're traveling, we're right here for you. Each Spaced Out Radio show can be found on iTunes, TuneIn, and on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the perfect way for you to catch up on our shows. For more information, just head over to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and tune in to us today.
Looking for nighttime adventure? Old school radio that delves into everything out of the norm? Then check us out at Spaced Out Radio. This is Dave Scott. Every Monday through Friday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, we're going to take you on a wild ride ranging from conspiracies to true crime and every ghost, alien, and Sasquatch story in between. We're always live, and we're always interactive with you. So join us at spacedoutradio.com, where together, we own the night.
The views and opinions expressed by tonight's guests and topic of discussion do not necessarily represent the official policy or position of Spaced Out Radio, Spaced Out Weekend, Spaced Out Radio Limited, its hosts, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with this broadcast. Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. And hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag SpacedOutRadio. Now, back to Elizabeth Anglin and SOR.
And we are back. This is your host, Elizabeth Anglin, on Cosmic Passport. And, Paul, would you do me a favor and turn down your computer, because I'm getting an echo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening, welcome. We're back with Psychic Sunday. I've got Paisley Town on the line. Paul Simons is here to do mediumship. Paisley's here to do numerology, and I think she might have her cards. I don't know. I'm going to ask her as soon as I get past these announcements. This is Elizabeth Anglin. I'm coming to you from Madrid, New Mexico, as I do every Sunday night here on Spaced Out Radio. And I want to thank you for listening, everyone from North America and around the world. Welcome, everyone listening at WQEE 99 Rock the Key in Noonan, Georgia, at spacedoutradio.com. Well, not right now because the site's down. Sorry, folks. On Spreaker, on the United Public Radio Network, Renegade Talk Radio, the High Plains Talk Radio Network, and on the Fringe.fm. We also want to thank our guitar god, Ron BUMBLEFOOT THAL, who creates our music. Thank you, Ron. And if you're listening or starting to listen, you can also check us out on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like at Spaced Out Radio Show. On Facebook, you can follow me at Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. Tune us in on TuneIn. Download our shows from iTunes. We are also on RadioGuide.fm, TalkStream Live, and on Stitcher. And of course, our website, which is down because somebody hacked it, and I'm gonna is spacedoutradio.com. And if you go to patreon.com, we have some cool offers for you, our listeners, there as well. Make sure you check those out. If you want to take part in our show, you'll have to sign into one of our chat rooms on Spreaker or on the chat room on Facebook at the SOR Space Travelers Club. And if you head to our website, which is down, you can become a Spaced Out Radio Space Traveler, but not this week because we got to get the website back up. So, this is Elizabeth Anglin. I'm here with Paisley Town and Paul Simons. We are going to be taking your calls, the number to call, and the wonderful people in the chat room who want to write that number down. The number to call is 505-908-9558. If Spreaker and Skype play nicely, we may be able to get your call in our group call and answer your questions. Now, it's always Spreaker and Skype related, whether or not this works or whether it just goes, eh. So we're going to hope tonight, we're all going to put our thumbs up, we're going to put our energy together, and anybody who needs to call in is going to get to be able to call in. 505-908-9558. If you have already friended me on Skype at Spirit for Peace, Spirit, F-O-R, Peace, P-E-A-C-E, then you can call in on Skype. Don't try to friend me now and expect me to do it, because I'm running a radio show and I'm not that good. I'm like, okay, it's like, I can do it. I can kind of do it. But I can't do everything. I don't have 8 arms like Dave Scott. And I tell you what, he has like 3 heads and 8 arms. If you were to go to the studio and look at him while he's doing a show, there would be weirdness. Just, the limbs and the heads and the, all of the multitasking. I don't understand it. So, I'm here with Paisley. I'm here with Paul. Paisley and Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Hi, Paul. You've been on for a little bit. Thanks for coming back.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Paisley, what did you learn about the universe this week?
Ooh. If it isn't broke, don't apply for city licenses.
Okay. Well,
that's what I learned.
But that's this month, right? Isn't that this whole
That's
past
been
month?
The whole month, yeah.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So are you still looking for a place? Can we tell people you're still looking for a place?
No, it's confidential.
Oh, shoot. Well, too bad. You should put it out on, if you put it out on Facebook, I'll tell everybody, me and your people. Well, so we have someone calling in. I'm going to add them to the group call, and we'll see who it is. Hello, you are on with Elizabeth, Paisley, and Paul. Who's this?
Hi, honey. It's Sharon.
Sharon, how you doing?
How are you?
Good.
Good. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Good.
I was hoping Paul might be able to do a mediumship, or all of you.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Sharon.
What's your question, Sharon? Who do you want him to?
Oh, honey. Yeah, just a mediumship. Anybody that's around, or any advice?
So just tune in.
I'm seeing family members from the other side that are guiding you and around you, and there's 3 family members that you knew that were important to you that are around you.
Okay. That's good.
Do you feel the presence?
Sometimes I feel stuff, but I'm not you ever sure who's who? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what I'm getting is that they're around you. It's more like nostalgic, like they feel close to you, and it's the holidays coming up, and it feels like they just want to be around you during the holiday season, especially. I don't feel they're always around as much as they are right now.
Really? Okay. Yeah, it's my mom and dad and my son.
That's correct.
Those are the three, I'm sure. Yeah. Any advice?
Well, they want you. They want you to be festive or to be doing holiday activities, and to I think they want you to feel good, and they're kind of just being sentimental and nostalgic. Like they want to be with you. They could be focusing on someone else, but they're focusing their energy and their attention on you.
Well, that's a blessing, yeah. The only other concern I have is my daughter. Really worried about her. And if anybody, Elizabeth or Paul or Paisley, if anybody can help, she's going to be okay. She's just got all the stress in the world.
Well, I'm tuning into her, and there's some karmic lessons, or there's something that she has to change. Some of the ways she deals with her life, her approach, the attitudes, or the way she goes about things. And I feel like what she's doing isn't working, but it's really up to her to come up with the new thinking. You know, we're in a Mercury retrograde now, and this is a time when people do think outside the box. They come up with new ways of dealing with old problems or new solutions to old problems. And it's quite likely that in January she's going to be looking to test some new approaches or make some changes. I don't feel like right now she's figured out exactly what to do, but I feel like there's going to be some new thinking or some changes right around the first of the year. Mercury retrograde's over on the solstice on December 22nd, and there's a shadow period after. So I would say around the first to second week of January, she'll be implementing some new changes or talking about what she's going to do or how she's going to deal with things going forward.
So do you see that as a positive thing?
Yes, yes.
It would be positive? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Great.
Liz,
well,
you pick up anything?
Me or Paisley?
Yeah, you do.
Me. Oh, me. Okay. Well, I'm going to agree with what Paul said about Mercury retrograde. And I think, you know, for your daughter, it in a way feels like walking into a wall, and the way it looks metaphorically is like Mercury retrograde is like walking into a wall and going, oh, I can't keep going in this direction. And then she sort of feels her way along to the edge of the wall, and when we get into January, she gets to the edge of the wall and walks on past it. So it really will create a redirection for her, like he said. But to me, it looks like a metaphor. She is walking into a wall, and she can't go forward in the way that she is. And of course, that's stressful because, you know, if you're going forward and you have any sort of inertia and you smack into a wall, it hurts. So, but she'll figure it out. She's got the brains, and she's got the resilience, and she'll be able to figure her way around the wall and move on from it. So it'll be good. Right now it looks bad, but it'll be good when it comes to January. And there may be people that leave her life. I get a couple people leaving her life that are really sort of not good for her. No, not in a bad way. There are people like at work or somebody who is a hanger-on who's not good for her.
Okay.
Not that, it's sort of like letting go of the people that drag you down kind of thing.
Oh, God. I hope that's not me.
No.
I hope that's not me.
No,
I feel like I dragged it out.
No, it's more of people that, like the frenemies. That's another thing that she'll start to become aware of, that, wait a minute, that person isn't really my friend. They say they are, but look, they did that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've had a lot of that. It's really, really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to take up all your time, but Elizabeth, my dog, has been sick. Somebody gave her something, and I'm wondering if you can pick up anything. I'm really worried about her. Not yet. Yeah, it just happened Friday night. I gave her some antibiotics. Yeah. Right. Okay. I know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Well, thank you.
Honey.
All right. Good luck with your puppy.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Much
All right.
love.
That's fine.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? We had a question from Wyatt, not my dog, on the Spreaker chat room. He wanted to ask Paul. He says he knows that you've read for him lately, but do you see anything new about a teacher for him?
I do, but I see that he's making some changes, or he needs like some something different, and it's kind of forcing the issue. He needs a new teacher.
So he should keep looking for a new teacher.
Yeah, you can't go with what you have.
Okay, great. Person who just called in, please turn off your radio show in the background. Thank you. Okay, Wyatt. So you are going to need a new teacher. You are changing rapidly. So what you've been learning about, you're going to need. It's going to change into something else. Anything else on that, Paul?
I feel like he's flexible right now and open to this, and it's going to work out better than he imagined. This is really a time of empowerment, a time of getting the tools, the information that he needs, and just go forward with an open mind.
Okay. Stay open, stay flexible. I think we talked about that before, so that's really a good new message for Wyatt. Thanks, Wyatt, for asking the question. If you are in chat, you can ask your question in all caps. And if you want to call in, we do have a caller. Caller, who are you, and what's your question? And if you're on mute, take yourself off of mute. We just had a caller on here. Where'd you go? Hello? Can't hear you. Okay, I'm going to go over to Vivian in the SOR Space Travelers. So Vivian would like to know, her sister would like to hear anything Paul may hear, see, or feel about her sister's relationship with her boyfriend. Anything at all?
What I'm feeling is that Vivian's sister has given away her power, and the boyfriend is kind of got more control than he really should have, and that the sister needs to be aware that she's disempowered herself, and it doesn't seem like it's a balanced relationship right now. What exactly does Vivian want to know about the relationship?
Okay, Vivian, if you have a follow-up question, if you have something more specific that you'd like to know, please type it in the chat room. And then we are going to go to our caller who has come back. Caller, who are you? I still can't hear you. Oh dear. You just... Hi, turn off your radio, please, and talk. That would be great. Who is this? Hello? Okay, this is not funny anymore, caller. No, I'm just here.
Sorry, my phone is being all weird. I don't know what's going on with it. It keeps going in and out, and I had to call back, and I'm like, what the heck is going on with my phone?
Is this Daryl? Who's this?
No, this is Tess.
Oh, Tess, hi. How are you?
Okay. Good, how are you?
Good. So who do you have a question for tonight?
I'm not sure. Just whoever has, like, something that pops up, I guess. Just basically in regards to my relationship with my 18-year-old. It's been really rocky lately and really hard on me, so...
Okay. Now, has Paisley ever done a numerology for your 18-year-old?
Yeah, I think it was on her birthday.
Okay. Okay, so she would, and you remember that. Well, Paul, do you want to look at Tessa's 18-year-old?
Okay, what I'm getting is that the 18-year-old is not trying or not interested in doing certain things, and it feels like the relationship is a bit frustrated or thwarted, and there isn't a lot of give and take or listening from the 18-year-old. It feels very, very much a one-way street. What specifically do you want to know, or is there something you want to know if it's going to change, or a specific area you want to look at?
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering if it's going to get any better. Like, we were really close, and then I got with my husband, and he began to spoil her, and I asked him not to, but he did. And so I've been the disciplinary, my husband's the yes man, and so she won't even talk to me about anything. She'll go through him, and she'll tell me, hey, I'm going to be home on this day, and then she doesn't come home till 2 days later. And so I do worry, but I'm just wondering if the communication's going to get any better, if the relationship's going to get any stronger, or I'm not sure.
It feels like she's going into a cycle that she has to actually experience and see the problems or issues she's created. And I see this being probably about 3.5 years, for her to look at it with a new perspective. It's like she has to actually live it. Like, she wants to live a certain way. She has to actually see their issues with her choices, with her behavior. And then when she comes back, she'll tell you that she didn't understand and that you were right about a lot of things. But right now she has to actually get some life experience, and she thinks she has all the answers and that she's doing what she wants to and everything's fine, but she's going to find that she's making a lot of mistakes. And I just see her not even being open to talking about it with you right now. Like if you were to get her and say, hey, look, we need to talk, she wouldn't really want to listen or wouldn't hear you. So I feel like you need to let her learn through the school of hard knocks. She is going to reconnect with you, and it's going to be better, but she has to go through actually living some of the things that she's doing and see what's really going on, and then she'll come back and she'll be more appreciative and grateful and closer with you. But right now she's got to actually go out and do it. I'm sorry, I know you'd like her to come back like tomorrow and have the relationship you had with her before, but I feel like she's got to really go through some things and learn some things and have some things not work out the way she thought they would before she's going to really have that aha moment and become close again.
Yeah, that really makes a lot of sense. I've been there before too.
Well, I think we all remember when we were younger, we did different things that on hindsight we shouldn't have done. She's got to actually have a little bit of living and run into these issues, and I feel like she'll come out of it on the other side and be really close to you, but she'll be more like an adult, not like an adolescent or a kid.
Okay, that's good to hear. Now I can refocus my energy on my other kids and kind of let that one go for a bit. It's been a real struggle and really been weighing down on me, and
I know
I have been thinking that in my head, and it's good for me to give advice to other people, but I can't just take my own advice for some reason. But yeah, now I can let go and just refocus that energy.
I feel like you do have to let go and let her figure it out for herself. She's not going to listen to you anyway, so if you get distraught or upset that she's not listening, it doesn't really benefit you or her. It's just kind of feeling a need for control or for a stronger connection. And I feel like right now she doesn't want that connection. She wants to figure it out for herself and call her own shots. So I would just let her be. Concentrate on the other children.
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tess, for calling in. We really appreciate it. We have
Thanks, Paisley.
Yeah. And thanks, Paisley, for listening, too. We have on the other line, we have somebody from, I think, 425. We have a 4 area code and a 5 area code. 4 area code. Who are you? What's your question?
Yeah, my name's Robin.
Hey, Robin.
And my question is for Paul. And I would like to know why I suddenly have an interest into why I would like to know ancient Chinese, or why I want to know about it.
Okay. Why does Robin want to know ancient Chinese? Because it's cool. That's me not being psychic.
Robin, I feel that you have something that you're trying to close out or finish, something from a past life that is Chinese that you never finished, and this is a continuation of a past life, and I feel like you need to actually go somewhere in Asia, and actually I feel it'll be in China, and you need to spend some time there. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
Well, I feel like you're going to spend between 2 and 3 years in China.
Okay.
Wow. So learn Chinese as soon as possible, because you're going to need to know some Chinese. Wow.
All right.
It's neat. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. And Robin, I'm going to add something to that. I'm a little bit older than you, so even though it seems kind of crazy, I've done some of those weird things, like spent time in places where I hadn't quite resolved the past life stuff. And for me, I've never had more than a week or two to do that, but it's always been worthwhile. So
okay.
Yeah, it's not just spurious information. So as you can get around to it, it's always worthwhile. And even if you can zero in on the place that you were, or get close to it, for me, with my week at a time, my 2 weeks at a time, I've come back, like my batteries have gotten recharged, I feel clearer. So it's not bad advice he's giving you, from my opinion, from having had a lot of past life stuff. So yeah, good luck, have fun.
I will. And so, Elizabeth, I have a quick question on Robin's behalf,
Yeah.
And the question's for Paul. So I'm just wondering, Paul, if you feel like he needs to kind of go towards like learning Cantonese or Mandarin language.
Good question.
Mandarin, because that would be really important if you're going to learn Chinese.
All right.
Yeah, I can see you up there by the wall, which is all Mandarin. Interesting. Go to the wall. Go to the wall. Cool. All right. Thanks, Robin.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. We have one more person from the area code that starts with 5. Who are you, and who do you have a question for?
It's 501. This is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, I wanted to ask Paul, here recently, I've had joint custody of my son, I guess you could say legal custody, but he's been staying with his mother. And some incidents happened, and he's been staying with me now. Nothing officially like on law or nothing. He's just been staying over here. And I've got this deep gut feeling that there's more stuff going on over there that I don't really want my son around. And both of me and my son, we kind of see things like shadow people and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that my gut instincts are real. However, I grew up without a mother, so I want to do everything I can to make sure his mother's in his life. So I guess my question is do I need to try to mend their relationship or just protect him as much as possible?
I see that you need to protect him. I feel like there's some things going on around his mother or her situation that are not positive or healthy for him. And I feel like he's stuck in the middle. But you may find that the situation is not for his best interest, or you need to take custody, and she may end up getting limited custody, like see him on the weekend, every other weekend or something, but you have the majority of the custody. I feel like there's something going on that you're not aware of with her that isn't in his best interest to be around.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, Liz.
Yeah, good luck with that. Thanks, Joe. Okay, we have some questions from the Space Travelers chat room. The first one is from Amanda. And Amanda would like to know, either for Paisley or Paul, and I think Paisley, you have Amanda's numbers, so you might be able to run. This is Amanda Page. She asked, what should I be doing next with my end-of-life doula business? Will it work out for me? So she is graduated. Woohoo! Go, Amanda! And she started her business. And the question is, what next? And will the business work out?
Okay, so I would have had Amanda's birthday about 7 months ago, so I don't have that handy. I don't keep that kind of records in front of me. But just even with the name Amanda, I know she has some fire energy too. The name Amanda is about like helping, healing, compassion. I'm not sure what the question is about the business. So is she... Do you know what the question is about the business?
I think she's worried whether or not she will be successful.
Absolutely. She would be worried about almost everything that she takes a step doing. And the reason is because she knows what she doesn't want, and she's not being super clear on what she does want. Like the focus has to be on like the goal. So for example, if you get in your car and say, I don't want my car to break down, I don't want my car to break down, I don't want my car to break down, you're not, setting yourself up for a safe ride.
Because
it has to be positive. Yeah.
You pull that energy to you.
What happens with fire is people who have fire energy, they think fast, they do things fast, they answer questions and respond to information quickly. They don't consider, like sometimes they have the answer to the question before you're finished telling them the question. You know what I mean? Like they're just fast in the way that they process information. It's because they're highly intelligent and they pick things up quickly. And so that can sometimes lead to like, well, what if this happens or what if that happens? Or, like I just graduated, so is it going to be a success? Well, here's the thing, like if you're going to focus on making your business a success, it's going to do well. If you're going to worry about whether it's going to fail, right? So the focus needs to be the success. And the name Amanda is all about like being a hippie, being a healer, being organic. Like to me, doula and like a death coach would be like right in alignment with the name Amanda. Yeah, it sounds like a great business idea for her.
Yay.
It's right there. For sure. It's really positive.
Paul, do you have anything?
I'm feeling that there's going to be some changes in the business. Like there's going to be some things that have to be added, some things that have to be changed, and that there's some fine-tuning involved. I was getting that there's certain adjustments that need to be made. I wasn't seeing specifically what they were, but getting the message, be flexible and make some adjustments.
So, and what I would say, since you're learning, I'm going to add to that to me what it looked like is that you may be learning a little more slowly than you want to be learning. But in the learning process, there are always adjustments. In the I Ching, in the tarot, it's like the three of, oh gosh, what is it? Paisley, what is it? 3 of Swords, where there's adjustments, or 3 of Pentacles. One of those, which is you have some. You just have to take it. It goes more slowly than you think because you're making adjustments and because you're learning by doing. And so you're going to get really good after this period of learning by doing. And so make the adjustments that you find out about. But and the other thing I keep feeling is to tell you to let it happen organically. Don't try to make it happen, because if you try to really push and say, okay, I need to, coach this many people, blah, 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 that may cause you more stress than you need to have. So let it happen, like allow it to happen. Just like Paisley was saying, don't worry about the car breaking down. Just say, I have to have this or it's not going to work. Don't say those things. Just say, I allow this to happen naturally, perfectly, organically, in divine timing with the universe. And then you'll learn what you need to learn, make the adjustments that you need to make. I wasn't supposed to do that, but I did because it's Amanda and I love her. So I had to chime in. So forgive me, guys. Sorry. Anything else to add? Either Paul or Paisley?
Not from me.
No, I think we covered it all.
Yeah. We also have a similar question from Brent in the Spreaker chat room. He wants to know if he is going to be able to do the business of his dreams. And Brent, I seem to remember this from before. You might want to weigh in. Is this your question or is this your wife's question? I think that was you whose wife was asking the question through your thing. But just, that's what the question is. It's either for Brent or Brent's wife. Maybe it's both of them now. They're so confusing. Keep changing.
Yeah, and if Brent's wife is using that account, then we'll need, if
We'll need
there's
the name.
insight numerology, I'll need her name.
Yeah.
Correct spelling of her name.
So
to-
we asked the question, but we're going to come back to it because I'm going to look for you to put some information, all caps, in the Spreaker chat room. We have another, well, there was another one on here. Yeah, I don't know how Dave does this. Oh, Corey. Corey asked, can I ask Paisley what the new year holds for me? This is Corey that we know from having, spending time with at Paracon.
Hey, Corey.
January 19th, 1966. She's a braver woman than I am, and she's also younger by a whole several days. January 19th, 1966, and Corey. What does that new year hold?
So for this birthday, one of the most important things is about, taking action and taking steps. So it's great to go, what's going to happen for me? But the better question is, how can I, what steps can I be doing to make things happen? So again, like the focus, like the theme, it seems to be is on like goals, right? In that, like, set the goal, keep the goal clear, move towards the goal, like pull her towards the goal instead of like, when is the goal going to show up on my doorstep? That kind of thing. I feel like if Corey can put some positive effort into a focused goal, then she can make huge strides towards meeting the goal. But I would hold off on that until the new year, like January, February. But also spending time in nature would be great, and a little bit of cardio. That's all I have. Do you have anything to add to that, Paul?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay. She also said for Paul that she had another kind of download, and it was different this time. It was much more gentle than the previous one. Different designs and different colors. Paul, do you see any information about what that download was or what that was for?
What I'm getting is she got the basic framework in the first download, and this was some fine-tuning or some additional information, but she had to basically receive the first download, and this is like additional information to like smooth things over or fill in some areas that weren't complete. But I feel like she's going to be actually having new perception, new mediumship, and understanding things in a different way. I feel that this has actually prepared her to move forward with a lot of new perception.
Okay, great. I would say I'm going to say something similar. When I teach Reiki, the first initiation is that like the big energetic one, and the others get progressively lighter and gentler. So I agree with Paul. Just from a practice standpoint, I'm not actually reading that. So cool, cool beans. Corey's going to become a medium, or a better medium. Woo! Yay! Okay, I'm looking for questions in the Space Travelers chat room and in Spreaker. If you have a question, please type it in all caps. And if you want to call in, the number to call in is 505-908-9558. 505-908-9558. I can add you to the group call tonight. Spreaker and Skype seem to be behaving nicely. And let's see. So Paul, I want you to read something for me. It's not actually for me. It's for someone that I know here. I sense that he has protection from some beings, and I just want you to double check that. His name is Dan, and he's an older gentleman here in our town, and I'm sensing that he has a certain alien connection and protection. Do you get that, or am I making that up?
I see the Cirrus B council around him.
Mm-hmm. What else do you see about him? What do you think his role is? What do you get about his role?
Well, he's not actually that vulnerable. He feels like he's a hybrid. He's got Cirrus B in him as well as human. I would call him a hybrid. And I feel he's got kind of a guardianship role, but he's like on the ground. He's here on Earth. He's not on Cirrus B in an etheric body. He's actually incarnated. And I feel like they support him, but he's holding energy, and he's actually providing protection and support for other people. I feel he sometimes takes a beating because he absorbs some stuff, or he takes a hit that might be meant for someone else, but he's actually acting in a guardianship role, and he's providing protection for others that cannot protect themselves.
Okay. Do you see any alien craft or any ships or anything in the astral around him in terms of protection for him?
He teleports. He doesn't need a ship.
Oh, very interesting. Okay. Very, very cool.
He's very advanced.
Okay. Good to know. Well, I will let him know that it wasn't just me. I was thinking that he had some role and he had some protection and some energy of protection in that. So he'll be glad to hear that. We just had an experience where he took some crap that probably would have landed on other people, and it really was powerful for him. So you're sort of backing up my reading, which is no, you have protection, but I didn't really get that he was protection.
Well, he has protection, but he actually acts to protect other people, and he sometimes takes a hit that was meant for other people to take, and he stands in front of them or protects them. So he's actually being a guardian, and it's sort of like he is doing this because that's his sole contract, or that's his commitment this life. So in some ways, he may feel like, well, I just took a hit. I may not be protected, but it's not really that he's not protected. It's that he's choosing to protect others and put himself out there on the line.
That's great. And that sounds like him. That sounds like what I know of him. Thank you so much for looking at that. Anybody else in the Spreaker chat room, if you have a question, if you're in the SOR Space Travelers. Oh, Catalina has a question. Her stepdad is having some health issues. So Catalina wants to know, will her stepdad's health improve?
What I'm feeling is he's got some things that need to be taken care of, but right now his health is kind of shaky, and I feel like he needs to take care of it, see the doctor, follow the recommendations of the medical people, but I'm not sure that it's going to be a fast solution. It feels like it's an extended amount of treatment or care that he needs. What exactly is going on with him?
So, Catalina, if you can share what's going on in the Spreaker chat, do. But if not, that's okay. We don't have to share other people's private information on the radio. We don't want you to get into trouble. But if you can say quickly, what's going on, which part of the body, that might be the best. While we wait for Catalina to respond, Chris would like to know, man, Chris, you're like, Chris, you're giving me flashbacks. She says, how long will I be at my current job? And I'll tell you the story about my flashbacks later. But Paul or Paisley, I guess Paul, how long do you think Chris will be at her current job?
I'm looking. Just give me a minute to tune in. I'm getting between 45 and 60 days.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Chris, if you have anything that you would like to add in terms of a question on that, that would be great. Brent has come back with a follow-up. He says, I have a great memory. Well, sometimes I do, if it's you, Brent, and your wife. The last question about the dream job was for his wife, but this one is for Brent. So will Brent be able to do his dream job, is the question. And whoever has anything. Have you done Brent's numbers, Paisley?
I don't believe so. If I have, I don't have his numbers
in
front of me, but I have his name. The name would indicate to me that he would normally do a lot of research and take all the steps necessary to have a successful business, but that the action or the motivation isn't always there. Like the idea of motivation is there, but the action of the motivation isn't always present. Like the intention is there, and that's as far as it goes sometimes. So Brent does things very methodical in a certain specific kind of way, and so he should be able to reach success if he takes all the steps, and one of the steps is the action that needs to be taken. And I'd be curious to find out what the business is, because he's good at running a business on his own based on his name without knowing his birthday, and clarity, communication, reliability. It would be somebody who puts honesty, integrity, and loyalty pretty high up. So it could be teaching or accounting or resource person, something to do with information sharing. Without knowing the birthday, that's all I can give you.
Brent, if you want more, you can share your birthday if you feel comfortable doing that. He says the job is woodworking. His dream job is woodworking.
Can you hear me, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Paisley.
Sorry, it's a little bit slow to unmute my mic for some reason. The computer's slow. Woodworking is totally a great thing for Brent, especially because it's something, like I said, that's structured. It has boundaries and you follow the rules and so on. So there might be a little bit of partnership needed if, for example, Brent wants to do the woodworking and have someone else market it for him or sell it for him, or if he wants to do the woodworking and somehow pull in partners to do the books or the business or the, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say go into partnership with someone else who's another woodworker for him, but I would definitely say, in small business, sometimes we feel like we have to do all pieces of the business, and he would be good at doing the structured part of the woodworking, like making the designs, making the plans, doing the work, because he's good at following rules and following the blueprint of whatever has to be done, that kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And he is a Capricorn. He just sent I think he's right on the cusp, but he's 1227.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
1227. I'll do the numbers, but in the meantime, if Paul has something to add, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll add up the numbers.
I feel like he's going to do more creative work. I don't know what type of woodworking he's doing, but I feel like there's an artistic or creative side that he's going to get into that's going to be really good.
Okay. Well, you know what? When we are about to go to break, we did get numbers also, Paisley, for Chris, and Chris does have a follow-up on her question. We're going to do the follow-up for Chris and the numbers for Brent when we come back at the end of the next break. Paul, Paisley, do you want to tell people how they can get in touch with you to get their own numerology, and private mediumship? And Paisley?
Paisley, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Paul.
Paisley, do you want to give out your info so people can reach you? Yeah.
Sure. My information is paisleytown.com, and I'm based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I'm on Twitter at Paisley411, and I'm on Instagram at Paisley Town. And I specialize, in person, I specialize in psychometry, which is reading objects or photos by holding onto them, and numerology and cards and crystal balls, lots of things.
Great. And Paul, you are Medium Paul at where? How can people email you?
I'm Paul at mediumpaul.com.
Paul at mediumpaul.com.
Okay. Yes. And I offer consultations, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, or an hour. And if it's something quick, I can do it very reasonably. So contact me at paul at mediumpaul.com if you'd like a consultation.
Great, thank you. We're going to go to break. We'll be back on the other side of break with more readings from Paisley and Paul. Think about your questions. If you want to call in, we can add you to the group call. It's all working out, sort of, kind of, okay. Tonight with Spreaker and Skype, a little bit. But between now and the next hour, we have to do commercials. So here we go.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and I want you to come on a nightly journey. Starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, every Monday through Friday, you can come hang out with me and the other space travelers. We have it all from Carl the Alien bouncing on by to those misfit gnomes causing havoc. It's 3 hours of fun and entertainment on those topics the mainstream really doesn't want to touch. Come get all paranormal with us at spacedoutradio.com, and together, my friends, along with our resident guitar god Bumblefoot, we own the night.
There's stories, then there's the truth. Do any of us really trust the news anymore? This is Jamie Sexton, owner of Rebel Planet News. The third Thursday of every month, I appear on spacedoutradio.com to bring you the truth you deserve, without mainstream media lies or alternative media fear-mongering. We'll get to the heart of the story and deliver the truth you are seeking. So come join us here for the Rebel Planet at spacedoutradio.com.
Not ready for bed on Saturday night? Right after Spaced Out Saturdays, hop on over to S4 with Corey Ruiz and me, Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. With S4, there are no limits to what we try and uncover. From government conspiracies to helping clean up the paranormal, no topic is safe on S4. We get to the heart of the matter, of the subjects you want to learn more about. So tune in on S4 starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, I'm Butch Witkowski, lead investigator with U4 Cop. On the final Monday of every month, you can listen to me and host Dave Scott on Spaced Out Radio's Strange Days. We're going to get to the heart of the matter when it comes to what's happening out there. People are seeing and experiencing things from ET contact to Bigfoot, and I want to hear about it. Your experiences are what we investigators need to help solve these unknown mysteries. So tune in at spacedoutradio.com to the final Monday of every month from Butch Witkowski's Strange Days.
This is Eric Markham, news editor for the Spaced Out Radio's The Encounter Online. We have put together a great team of writers and journalists from all over the world to bring you top-quality paranormal stories, from alien encounters to the latest conspiracies. You won't find any of that fake news here. True stories and top-notch reporting as we look to bring these experiences to the mainstream. The Encounter Online, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Do you want to know the truth? Do UFOs exist? Are aliens real? Are the governments hiding the biggest secret in history? We're UFO seekers, and we're on a hunt for the truth. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along with us as we journey across the United States, visiting UFO hotspots and alien hotspots, trying to document the UFO phenomenon. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
There's a lot of strange going on in this world, and we can help you find out what's going on with you. Paranormal, cryptids, UFOs in the sky, aliens in your bedroom tickling your toes. We have the investigators you need to find out the answers you deserve. All you have to do is head to spacedoutradio.com. Your information is 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines Report. It's free, and we're here to help.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Become more intimate and interactive with Spaced Out Radio. Join our Space Travelers Club with your new membership. For $5 a month, we'll provide you with special access to the website, monthly prize draws from books to psychic readings, along with monthly newsletter, private interviews, and more. Sign up today to be part of Spaced Out Radio's experience.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Don't have time to listen to Spaced Out Radio live? Wherever you are, the car, the office, the shower, or even if you're traveling, we're right here for you. Each Spaced Out Radio show can be found on iTunes, TuneIn, and on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the perfect way for you to catch up on our shows. For more information, just head over to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and tune in to us today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We are lighting the void on Saturday nights on Spaced Out Radio. Hey, this is Joe Roop, and I'm hanging out in SOR headquarters every Saturday night, bringing you the latest news when it comes to the weird and strange. Bigfoot, occult, UFOs, ghosts, and everything in between, I got you covered. You can tune in to spacedoutradio.com starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time. Come travel into the void with us on Spaced Out Saturdays.
The views and opinions expressed by tonight's guests and topic of discussion do not necessarily represent the official policy or position of Spaced Out Radio, Spaced Out Weekend, Spaced Out Radio Limited, its hosts, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with this broadcast. Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. And hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag SpacedOutRadio. Now, back to Elizabeth Anglin and SOR.
We are back. This is your host, Elizabeth Anglin. Paul, if you could mute, that'd be great. This is Spaced Out Radio's Cosmic Passport and Psychic Sunday. Thank you for listening tonight. We are taking calls for Paisley Town, numerologist from Vancouver, and Paul Simons, medium out of Brazil. We thank them both for being here, and we thank you for listening, especially all of you listening from around North America and the world. Thank you for being here. Hey, Spaced Out Radio has a lot going on. I know our website's down, but every night of the week you can listen to us on Spreaker at Spaced Out Radio on Spreaker. So download the Spreaker app if you haven't done it yet. You can also listen and look in from North America and the world on these other radio stations, and we thank people who are doing that this evening. We have WQEE 99 Rock the Key in Noonan, Georgia. Everybody on the United Public Radio Network, and the Renegade Talk Radio out of Las Vegas, the High Plains Talk Radio Network, and on the Fringe.fm. So there are lots of ways to listen to the show if our hacker doesn't release our website. We also want to thank everybody who has been checking us out at Twitter. at Spaced Out Radio. Yes, that's at Spaced Out Radio. If you're on Facebook, you can give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show, or you can follow me and give my page a like at Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. We have our archives there a day after they are they play normally on the website for a day, but they'll probably be going to archives pretty rapidly. You can tune us in on TuneIn, download our shows from iTunes. We're also on RadioGuide.fm, TalkStream Live, and on Stitcher. And of course, our website is Spaced Out Radio. Again, it's been hacked. Sorry. But if you want to go to patreon.com, look up Spaced Out Radio. We have some cool offers for you, our listeners, there as well. Hey, guess what? Dave Scott's trying to get syndicated, so he is running a GoFundMe. If you've seen his Facebook post, you will see the GoFundMe. Dig your wallets out. Don't make me have to get a big stick and whack you with it, or a pointy stick and poke you with it. That would not be right either. There's a plethora of types of sticks that I could use to make you give to the GoFundMe for Dave Scott, getting the equipment needed for syndication. And, like I said, I have a new computer coming, and I'm going to be getting some new equipment too. But the GoFundMe is for a studio-like setup for Spaced Out Radio and for syndication. Go there, do that thing. There are plethoras of amounts of dollar bills too that you can use to give to GoFundMe. And there's even like the Latin form of plethora, plethorum, all of those. And pleather, you could give a plethora of money wearing pleather. Don't drink too much, because for those of you who know, that's our code word. I don't want you to fall over. So that's what we have going on here at Spaced Out Radio. We're trying to improve daily what we're doing and how we're doing it. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we still thank you for listening. WQE 99 Rock the Key at the Spaced Out Radio family way down in Noonan, Georgia. You guys are awesome. Thank you for sharing your nights with us. Renegade Talk Radio folks in Las Vegas, thank you. United Public Radio 107.7 FM people, thank you. And for the week, because we don't have a website, all I know is Dave is going to be back 5 nights this week. Check us out, 9 p.m. Pacific. On Saturday, Joe Roop will be in with Spaced Out Saturday. I will be back next Sunday. I'm going to be on with Eric Markham. We're going to be talking about H.P. Lovecraft horror, because we want to do The Nightmare Before Christmas, because it makes us happy. If you don't know who H.P. Lovecraft is, guess what? You are going to find out on the 17th Sunday. Eric Markham, Elizabeth Anglin, we do H.P. Lovecraft right, because we're dark and stormy and spooky like that when we want to be. All right, well, we've got Paisley here, and I don't mean to hold Paisley up. She's been doing a numerology for Brent. And Paisley, what else did you find out about Brent? Anything good?
His comments in the chat room seems like the answer that I gave made sense for him. His wife, I believe it's his wife, Chris, with a K, provided her name, but I feel like the name Chris, K-R-I-S, is not the full name. So basically the way numerology works is if somebody's name is David and they go by Dave, it changes the personality to go by a nickname or to go by not the birth name. And the birth name carries weight and the nickname carries weight. So depending on what Chris's name is, I'm not sure about what the question was, but I have the May 7th birthday handy. If Chris or Brett wants to type in and give me a proper name and a question, then I can move forward with that. And I think there was a question from Gogo, and that would be Teresa. Mm-hmm. And she was asking a question that I found unclear. She wanted to ask a question about her boyfriend, and she gave us his name and birthday. And then the question was about his future relationships. And I'm not understanding that question, if this is her boyfriend. Is it an ex-boyfriend? Is it a friend that's a boy?
It's a wishy-washy friend. I'm going to just step in here and put my foot in my mouth and talk for her, because I think it's a wishy-washy friend. But
Okay.
Go. You can clarify all you want. Am I right? Is it a wishy-washy friend? Do we call it a boyfriend? Do we call it a washcloth? What do we call it? Let's see. I have a question for you before we go on, because you said nicknames count.
Yes.
My nickname since high school has been Space Queen. What does that come out to? That's what I know you have now.
That's a good question, because you have a couple of different names that you use. So
yeah, I have Watery Amy, and I have Fiery Elizabeth, and then my nickname is, and people would call me Ames too, spelled different ways. But
Space Queen is 2, which is fiery. Yeah.
So now I'm balanced toward fire. That's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay. So we're waiting for clarification. We do have a follow-up question for Paul from Robin. He's wondering if when he goes to China, will he learn anything at a temple about Qi and martial arts? And will he find someone who will teach him ancient Chinese, not modern Chinese?
I feel he's going to learn martial arts, but not at a temple. It's going to be possibly at a school, or he's going to meet somebody who will teach him, but not at a temple.
Okay. Then do you feel he'll be able to find somebody who can teach him ancient Chinese?
Yes, I do, but I feel he's going to need to learn modern Chinese, modern Mandarin, because he's going to be there a while, and he's going to need to communicate with the people in today's language.
Okay, that makes sense. So, that's very, very, very cool. Robin, that sounds like a great adventure. And we have more questions for, Gogo is saying he's the boyfriend that's in and out, but wants to stay, I think. So he is sometimes boyfriend, sometimes not boyfriend. What is he going to be in the future is more the question.
Sure, that makes sense. I can speak to it a little bit with his birthday.
Okay.
So the name Jesse with that spelling is the value of 1, which is water. And being born on the 8th day of the month is fire. And 1 is the most, like the water numbers are 1, 5, and 7. And 1 is the strongest water number. And fire numbers are 2, 4, and 8. And 8 is the most fiery number of the fire numbers. So he's got strong water and strong fire fighting each other in those positions in the birthday. And so he will be back and forth, in and out, black and white, right and wrong. Like, so that totally makes sense that he's in and out of the relationship. And I think part of the question was, what can we do to help him stay focused? And this birthday is not a birthday that historically stays focused at all. This is a birthday that, might focus on, destination B, and then, oh, look, shiny object, I'm distracted, squirrel, kind of like a cartoon, going in different directions at the same time and not so focused. I'm just wondering if Paul has anything he wants to add. The boyfriend's name is Jesse, Jesse, and the birthday for him was 6/8/1971.
Well, what I'm feeling is he needs to do some grounding work, because the energy is stronger on the planet now, and for him to manifest, for him to really accomplish what he wants to accomplish, he's got to be grounded. And I know he's got a lot of fire and a lot of water, but he needs to be grounded. It's what I keep getting.
Okay.
Perfect.
I would say something, but I feel like it might be unhelpful, but I'm going to say it anyway. So part of the attraction, I think, is that Gogo is a strong force. I feel like Teresa is, she provides grounding. That so he tends to come back to her because she's constant. She's like a constant in the universe. So I don't know if that's helpful, but and I don't know that you need to do anything to keep doing that. It just, to me, feels like that's a part of your being. You are what you are.
I have something else to say about that. He needs to be grounded because Teresa's very strong and very grounded, and she's like a heavyweight and he's like a featherweight.
Yeah.
If he's grounded, he can keep up with her and he can have a better relationship with her. If he's not grounded, it's like he gets knocked out.
Yeah, he's like the moon going around the Earth, but in an erratic orbit. So it's almost like the grounding would put him in a nice, straight, reasonable orbit, and
Well, also so that the relationship, the connection is more balanced. So it's good for both him and for Teresa.
Right. Yeah. So. But Teresa, you're awesome, so never forget that, because we know it.
Teresa in the chat room is also saying, Elizabeth, she'd like to put out a big thank you to Paul for the birth chart that he provided for her, just that it was really accurate and she appreciated it greatly.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. So Paisley, I'm not sure if you need to know Brent's full name. Were we looking for Chris's? Did we get Chris's full name?
Yeah. We got the name, but I'm not sure what the question was. The only question that I saw is like, how long am I going to stay? And I believe Paul answered that and said 45 to 60.
Yeah, she's wondering if she's going to get fired or if she's going to get a new job.
Well, it depends if she wants life to happen to her or if she wants to be proactive and have her life happen, like have some control and some direction in choices in her life. Yeah. If she wants to get fired, like, cause, if somebody wants to get like laid off or fired or something, you can just keep doing what you're doing, which is like, don't do anything and just sit there and wait for it to happen. Or you can seek out something. May 7th is a good match for the birthday with Brent, because it's a lot of water energy. Again, teacher, leader, someone who's self-employed, someone who manages other people well, should be a clear communicator, may be good with communication, language, or numbers, instructor, teacher, leader. And it's funny because when I speak to people with a birthday like this, water birthday, sometimes they say, oh no, I'm not a teacher, I just answer phones, or I just organize offices, or I just keep everybody structured. Well, even though you're not a teacher in a classroom, you automatically teach people and people learn from you. So in many regards, you are a teacher, even if you're not in a teaching capacity, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Did you get to Rachel's name? Did she get what she needed?
Rachel, I didn't get her birthday yet. She just provided November 4th as the numbers without the year. So that would be air and fire. So I'd say like spicy, feisty, doesn't take any mess from other people, stands up for themselves.
I don't know. I don't think that sounds like Rachel.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it sounds completely like Rachel.
Oh, okay. I don't know Rachel, so
Rachel is like, she gets in the chat room and it's like, I am here, hear me roar.
Yeah.
Don't give me any crap.
It should be like someone who's not afraid to roar, and stir things up and get things in the mix. But also, part of that roaring has to do with a really strong sensitivity, because the name Rachel's a 6, so it would be like somebody who can be hurt easily by other people, even if the other person isn't intending to hurt Rachel. Rachel might present herself as being hurt by them from like a comment or an action, or sometimes from a lack of an action or a lack of a comment. If that makes sense. It's like a strong, sensitive soul. It'd be like a hippie who's not afraid to fight, if I could just like put it in a visual. A hippie that would get a little, they wouldn't just run away if you yelled at them. They would fight back. A political hippie, let's put it that way.
Okay, that's cool. That sounds like Rachel to me. Rachel, let us know what you think. So Chris's full name is Christine, Kristine, and she's never had her numbers read before.
Okay, so May 7th, that would be like the teacher. The name Christine. Just doing the adding of the numbers here. Should be concerned with balance, justice, fairness, loyalty, advocating for other people, standing up for other people. And the impact of standing up for other people with this birthday, May 7th, would be that eventually she'll come into her voice for herself. Not to say that she doesn't have a voice, but she sometimes doesn't let people know what her needs are. And so then it can be tricky for other people to meet her needs, because she might expect people to just meet her needs. Like, well, he knows me. He should know what I meant or what I wanted, but I didn't tell him what I meant, and I didn't tell him what I wanted. That kind of thing. So the idea is about coming into clarity and speaking softly to have the needs be met by other people. So, and sometimes it's just survivor of hardship with the May 7th birthday. A little bit of fire, but mostly everything. The name Christine with a K, the water. The month is water, the day is water. When I add the birthday numbers together, it's water. But the year 1966, just like Corey's birthday, is a little bit of fire. So that means later in life, Christine will be more feisty and or more busy.
Oh, very interesting. Is that for everybody who's 1966? Because we're all in the same year. So
yes, but it also depends on, like for example, if the November 4th birthday, if that was 1966, it would be like fire, fire, fire. So it's going to change the dynamics of everything, as opposed to water and fire. So all the numbers carry weight. If I'm reading for a teenager, sometimes I'll focus mainly on the month, because that's kind of where they are in their life path. And if I'm focusing on a senior citizen, sometimes I'll just focus on the year. And depending on the birthday, like November 4th, that was like fire as a teenager and fire from 30 till 60 years old. So depending on what the year is, it could change things. As a senior citizen, things could change depending on the birth year.
Okay, good to know.
But not everybody wants to put their birth year. And if people are writing their birthday in the chat room, like after I've written it down and talked about it, feel free to go back in and delete it on your end, because, just for identity theft purposes and so on, it's not a bad idea to be safe with that information and keep it to yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Chris says, yep, she's a manager and she manages people and she gets everybody organized. So that, and Brent says, bang on, you hit the nail on the head. As only I think that's what he said. I'm paraphrasing. I think he's
okay. Sure. Thank you.
So, and then Rachel has added an 83 to her birth as a birth number, 83.
Okay. Well, let me add that together and see if Paul has anything for Rachel.
Yeah. Paul, you got anything for Rachel?
Tuning in, what I'm getting is Rachel also needs to do some grounding. I feel like she's not getting enough traction right now, and she needs to do more grounding, and she'll be able to accomplish a lot more. She's not manifesting her full potential.
Okay. To me, if I heard that, I'd be like, ow! But, Rachel, it's we all go through that, so...
And this is because Rachel's so creative.
Yeah.
So she might start a project thinking, oh, I'm going to make this thing, or, she should be good at, cultures and spices and music and dancing and fun and socializing, and she'd be good at doing quite a lot of things, and she has the ability to work in a noisy environment that's chaotic and fun. But sometimes the clarity could be challenging. So communication, like Rachel may know in her head what she wants, but to translate that to express what she wants or what she needs can be challenging for her because she is fast and fun and sensitive, if that makes sense.
One thing I'm seeing is she may start more projects than she finishes.
Oh,
so
for sure.
Start 5 projects but only finish 2. You've got like 3 that you never brought to full fruition. I feel the grounding will allow her to get 4 done, maybe even 5 instead of 2, and then she'll feel more accomplished. It's not a negative. It's just so that she has the energy to finish and to fully complete everything.
And for Rachel, I would say the grounding doesn't need to be like meditation or quiet. The grounding could be like listening to loud music or working out or getting on a treadmill or doing something like cardio, action, fast activity, sweating. That could be the meditation.
Right.
Yeah. That helps. That would help to ground someone with this birthday.
Okay, yeah. So, listen to music. Okay, so, Brent is being a pest, and he says, I'm sorry to sound like a pest. Yes, you do sound like a pest, but we love you for your pestiness, so it's okay. He says, be clear on his part. So he's the one who he wants to do woodworking, and you had said that he should get a partner, but not a partner who does woodworking. So would that be like an interior designer who takes
No,
woodworking?
it would be like, let's say he's woodworking, and I'm just going to make something up. Let's say he's going to make a piece of furniture or a cabinet or something, or some cabinets for a client. He might not be the one to go and do the marketing for the woodworking, and he might not be the one to go and sell the pieces to the customers. He might just do the woodworking. So the partner would be someone who does sales and marketing, or who does selling, or who does advertising, or who does delivery, or who does the other parts of the business that is not the woodworking. But I'm not recommending, when I say for him to partner with someone, I'm not recommending he should partner with other woodworkers to get his work done. I'm just saying, like we're not all good at all things. So his focus should be on the creativity and the structure of the woodworking. So maybe not the sales, or maybe not the financial end of it, or maybe not the accounting end of it, or maybe not that's what I meant, to be clear. Hopefully that makes sense.
So basically, if he gets an Etsy site or an Etsy site, however you want to pronounce that, he needs somebody who posts the woodworking, who communicates with the customer, and sends the product out. Right?
That's right. Or does the photography of the pieces. Like, he can focus on the woodworking and run. He's good at managing on his own, but he can partner for the pieces that he doesn't want to do.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's see. We have Rachel is saying she just confirmed she has wicked ADD or ADHD. She said super. I said wicked. Let's see. She says no, exercise is bad. So I would say metal or some kind of rock music, Rachel. But she kind of confirmed what you said, Paul. So that was nice of her. We are still taking questions. We have a question in the SOR, Space Travelers chat room. A follow-up again from Robin. He is a black belt in Korean martial art. Will that have any significance when he goes to China? Any thoughts on that, Paul?
I feel that he will have an opportunity to get into competitions with Chinese martial arts and be comparing his Korean martial arts, that it'll actually be like a curiosity or competitiveness because it's different.
Okay, very interesting. Let's see. Well, and I think Robin, having done Korean martial arts and knowing people who do White Crane and Okinawan, it's always good to know more. It's good to know different styles, and it's good to know where the styles came from and how they developed, because different cultures developed their martial arts in different ways for different purposes. In Okinawa, they had a lot of farm equipment and nothing to fight with but farm equipment. So they have a specific style. So I think it's great. I think this whole idea and desire to go to China is great because you will have so much available to you in terms of styles. So that's not me being psychic. It's just, it makes sense. It'll be different. Let's see. Any other questions? Anybody in the Spreaker chat room? Anyone in the SOR Space Travelers chat room? Oh, we have Christopher. Christopher, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I was on mute.
So what's your question tonight?
A couple weeks ago, I was given a specific place in the last reading. I'd like to know what I need to look for when I'm there, either in astral or in physical, either one.
Okay. Can you remind us of the place?
Monte Carlo.
Okay.
I feel like, Christopher, I feel like that's the destination, but you're going to go to some other places on the way. That's more like the final place where you'll end up, but I don't feel you go there directly. And what's going to happen is Spirit is going to guide you. You're going to be one day the current situation and responsibilities that you have and the established norm of what you're doing is going to shift. And I feel like you're going to be between 9 months and 12 months kind of in motion before you end up in Monte Carlo. You're not going to just leave where you are and just show up there like the next week. Mm-hmm. You're gonna go through a series of places and meeting people and doing things before you end up in Monte Carlo.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
Yes. Go ahead, Christopher.
I've never been there physically, and I'm now doing meditation. And I have a good idea, I think, where I'll end up in that city. The Royal Palace District, not the casino.
Well, I see you in the French Riviera and some other towns.
In Menton and Nice, I think, right?
Well, Keynes and Nice and some other towns in the area.
That area is beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher, thank you for coming on and asking your question. We have another question from Catherine for 3 p.m. She's wondering how many near-death experiences must she endure in this life, and why she's had so many, and for what purpose. And then she wonders if she's just a slow learner. Anybody have anything to weigh in with that?
I can say for sure, I've done a, not on the air, but a private reading for Kat. And Kat has had a name change. And so, of course, when we change our name or go by a different name, it brings more life lessons. So, if you have 3 different first names that you go by, that could potentially bring in 3 additional life lessons for you. So that would make sense that she feels like she has a lot of life lessons, because with the name change, like the numbers I did for her, that would be separate numbers, separate lessons, separate homework to be done, separate things to work on, if that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, and that's also making me think I'm never going to let anybody call me by a new nickname or use multiple nicknames like I have. I would say to people, you can call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner. Well, screw that. I'm out. No.
Yes, send a dinner invitation and call me Elizabeth.
And call me Elizabeth.
See, you have quite a few names because you go by Liz, Elizabeth, Amy. Like, you go by several names, so
yeah,
that's more lessons for you.
And when I was a kid, it was like, you can call me Ames, you can call me Bucktooth Barracuda when I was like 9. You can call me Snaggletooth Sharkface when I was 9. But all sorts of different names. So obviously I have made my life much more complicated than it ever needed to be. And when people would say, oh, that Elizabeth, she's complicated. No, I really am not complicated. It's just all of these names. So that's it. I'm done. Ron is calling me E-Lizzie. He is calling me E-Lizzie in the Spreaker chat room because he can, and I can't like bash his fingers from here and say, stop that. So, yeah, E-Lizzie. Oh my goodness. No, call me Elizabeth. Wow. You have opened my eyes to a whole new reality, Paisley. I don't know if I can handle it anymore. Well, we don't have anybody asking questions. So if you want to ask a question, type it in all caps. If I've missed your question, type it again in all caps. If you want to call in, the number is 505-908-9558. And I guess, I feel like I should ask a question, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to ask a question for my older brother again, because he has managed to move, and he's moved about 4.5 hours away, which is really cool. He was in North Carolina for most of his life, and I kept feeling like he needed to be in New Mexico or be nearer to me. And my question is, was I right about that? I've always heard that my brother John, we still have karma together. Paul, do you get anything on that?
Yes, but what I'm feeling is your brother needs to open his mind and be more flexible. I feel like he's been resisting.
Okay, being flexible. Yeah, I can see that.
And I don't feel that he's fully ready to resolve the karma.
Okay. So, and do you think that he will stay in the Four Corners area, or do you think he will move on from the Four Corners area?
Give me a second to tune in.
Okay.
is he going to stay in the Four Corners area? I get no. Is he going to move right away in 2018? January, February, March. I feel by March or April he may be moving.
Oh my goodness. So, and not staying in Colorado or New Mexico. Huh.
Not in the Four Corners.
Okay, could he be in... So for me, Four Corners is the, like, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, or Utah.
Yes.
Would he be in one of those states, just maybe not near around the border lines?
Let me look. I get no. He's going to move somewhere that's warmer, but it feels like it might be Florida or it might be Southern California. It feels like it's on one of the coasts. He doesn't know yet which way he wants to go.
And I got palm trees. I don't know. That doesn't narrow it down very much, but I saw palm trees just before Paul spoke.
I'm feeling it could be San Diego or Southern California.
Oh, very, very interesting. Okay, well that's good to know. That I will keep that in mind about him. Interesting. Well, okay, here's one big question before we go. What do you think, and this is for Paul, developments in the world that maybe people don't expect in 2018? Like, ask him what the most unexpected of unexpected things in 2018. What does the probability field show up with? Things that people just wouldn't think about.
I see something happening with the monarchy in England, and right now there's some talk about Prince Charles being the next king, but it's possible that the monarchy may skip down to the next generation.
Oh, I sure hope so.
I think
suddenly go from a 90-something-year-old queen to a 20-something-year-old king.
Well, the one who's in line, he's in his 30s now, but
I guess
yeah, so he would be much, much younger. But that would, to me, that would be really cool. That, because the younger one seems to be, cool. He seems to have a lot going for him and a lot of understanding about the world. Do you see anything with the Dalai Lama or Tibet in 2018?
With the Dalai Lama? I feel like he's going to stay around a little longer because I feel like he's got some kind of guardian energy of being present and not leaving the scene until some things are resolved that haven't been resolved. I feel like he's been hanging on because he feels he needs to.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Christopher, another world question, and we're going to go to Christine again. Chris, this is for all of us. What do you guys feel will happen in the next few months in the U.S.? We don't want to get too political, but is there anything that comes up? And to me, when I just look at it, I just see like a mess of a cat fight, and it's like a bunch of cats fighting, and so I'm just like, forget that. I don't want to put my attention there. But Paul, do you get anything significant?
I feel this Mueller investigation is going to target some high up officials, and it's going to create a lot of shockwaves in Washington.
Okay, so more shockwaves. I mean, more of the same. It's like shockwave after shockwave. To me, it's just like it's not a bar fight. It really just looks like crazy cats, and then there's just more and more and more and more cats, and they're all crazy, and they're all just hissing.
Well, there are things being exposed that were hidden. There was deception that had occurred that is being uncovered, and I feel like that's going to continue, but it's going higher and higher up the ladder. There really isn't any way for people to hide because there's too much light on the planet. Whatever people have done, good or bad, are going to be exposed.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Whatever you've done, good or bad, is going to be exposed also because of the light on the planet and for these guys. I'm going to go back to Christine. She still doesn't understand why she's had so much loss and death in her life. Is this something anybody could speak to? And part of me, when I read that, I'm like, well, a lot of people have loss and death, and it looks like a lot when it's right in front of us, but, sometimes it is much more when you get things coming one right after the other. It seems like a lot. So, Paul, do you get anything about Christine's loss and death? I think it's...
Well, I feel like there were certain family members that they had finished their life mission or soul contract, and and they were at a place where it was time to go home, to go back to the light, and that it maybe happened because the energy got stronger. They finished, and they were ready just to leave. But I feel like she's still got a mission to accomplish, and she's not going anywhere. But I feel like it's a natural cycle that people are born, people accomplish their missions, and people die. And I feel like it was just the time. And sometimes these things happen. It seems like very abrupt or shocking, but the person's finished their mission and they're going back to the light and getting ready for the next incarnation. So it's really not the ending. It's just that they accomplished what they came here to accomplish. But we're looking at it from a different vantage point, from a different place, and we don't always see that they accomplished everything they were here for. We just miss them because we love them and their family or their dear friends or really connected, and we don't see it that they finished their mission. We just feel the loss that they left. So I feel like there's some of that feeling, the loss that they left. But you should look at it that they got a lot done. They were great people. There was a great connection that she had with them, but it was their time to go and prepare for the next round.
And so she's actually talking about her children, and I want to speak to that because I've not that it's very public, but I've lost a child and before birth, but I would always wonder about that. It's like, what did I do wrong? And when I checked in with Spirit, it was a learning experience for both of us. And even though it was a very short connection and short time of being so close, there was still a learning experience for both of us. And that child actually saved me from making a horrible mistake with my life. So I've asked, because I felt so bad. It's like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Is there something I've been terrible about, and so this is happening to me? And it really came down to an act of kindness and compassion, where the reactions of the father of that child to the situation of the child being born showed me everything I needed to know about that person, and we were engaged at the time, and he showed me that this was not going to be the person for me, and I would have been making a terrible mistake. And years later I found out I would have been making a terrible mistake. So even when it's children and it's hard, especially if you're a mother, there's still love, and there's still learning, and there's still compassion, and that's coming in from the spiritual side, and it's wonderful.
Sometimes Elizabeth, sometimes there's karma, and children come back and they're born to complete something, and as soon as they complete it, they go.
Exactly.
And it's not pretty easy, but they needed that period of completion to be able to move on, and next incarnation, they're not going to have to go through this again. So the mother is the support system for the child in a large sense, and it's painful to see them go. But if you understood that they came to resolve something and to get completion, and they did, and you helped them to be able to do it, and then once they were finished, they were done. If you look at it that way, then perhaps it's not so sad because you supported them. They got what they needed to do done, and now they're back in the light, and they'll be coming back.
Yeah. So, it's a transmutation of form, this whole physical body stuff. I mean, we look at it like, loss and death, but everything is a continuation and a continuation through transformation and transition. And our old terminologies for it, sort of the Judeo-Christian world terminologies of death, or even Navajo, that's it, that's the end. It's not actually what's going on. There's a lot more flow to it, and there's a lot more beauty to the dance, even when the dance seems sad. And if you allow that sort of love and compassion and beauty, to ask the question is, how was this person, this little person, of service? What did they do? What was their mission to come here for whatever length of time? When you ask those questions instead of, why did this terrible, loss happen to me, you get a better answer when you ask, what was their purpose? What did they come for? What were they trying to show me, or what were they trying to learn? You can see it from a different perspective, and it becomes easier. I know people who grieve their children for decades, and luckily I had the ability to have a direct conversation with mine and find out what the lesson was, and so ask those questions, and it'll be easier. All right, let's see. We're getting toward the end of our time. If you have one last question, please feel free to ask it in the chat room now. I'm going to be looking in the SOR Space Travelers chat room at this time. There's one more from Robin. Robin is R-O-B-I-N, St. Charles. And he was... Do you see it, Paisley? I don't know if I should read it out. Do you see it?
No, I'm not. I don't see it.
Okay, it's 3584.
Okay. Is there a question?
He almost died as a newborn, and he's wondering if the month and date had something to do with him almost dying as a newborn.
And it's R-O-B-I-N? Okay. No, I say no.
Okay. It didn't have anything
maybe
to do
Paul,
with it. Paul,
maybe Paul has a different answer. Yeah.
No, I agree with Paisley. The date wasn't the issue.
So, yeah, it wasn't the issue, and that's good to know. Very, very good to know. All right, well, we're coming on to the end of the hour. Paul, if people want to contact you for sessions, how do they do that?
Well, my email is paul@mediumpaul.com, and I offer 20-minute, 40-minute, and 1-hour consultations. And if there's something you want to ask, please message me, email me, and I can look at it and advise you if I can handle this just as an answer to your email, or if a consultation would be more appropriate. And I'd love to work with all the people here on this show, and it's a good group, and I feel like I can assist or answer questions, whatever you have.
Cool, very cool. Paisley, if people want to get numerology or the other things that you offer, What do you offer?
Sure. In the Vancouver area, I offer classes and readings, but I also do psychic parties. So you can invite people to your home, and I could do a whole bunch of readings in a private room away from the party guests. But yeah, mainly I do one-on-one psychic readings. And Paisley at paisleytown.com. That's my email address, and my website is just paisleytown.com. So I'm easy to find. I'm also on Facebook as well as Twitter.
Yay! And go see Paisley, especially if you're in Vancouver. I'm going to try to get up there and go see Paisley. That'll be fun. Yeah, we're going to have to go do a plethora of things and then drink. So this is Elizabeth Anglin. This is Cosmic Passport. Next week I will be back with Eric Markham. We're going to do an H.P. Lovecraft Nightmare Before Christmas special. We hope, if all goes well, with the technology of the universe and Mercury retrograde. If you want to contact me, I do readings. It's ElizabethAnglin.com. If you know of a guest that you haven't heard lately on Spaced Out Radio or on Cosmic Passport, somebody that you think is wicked cool, who is doing, something about aliens, something about intuition, something even telepathy and animals and Bigfoot, whatever it is, whatever it bees, which is not a word, do feel free to give me a shout, because I'm scheduling for the new year and I'm getting, some people. I'm looking for open-minded scientists. I'm looking for people that have had experiences but who've also come through their experiences and are on the other side and have transformed. So, if you know somebody really cool, give me a shout. It's info@elizabethanglin.com, and I would be happy to listen and consider or talk to whoever it is that you know. Paul and Paisley, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on the show. And
awesome show tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everybody who is been in the chat rooms, everybody who asked a question. Thank you for being here. Dave Scott will be back tomorrow night and 5 nights this week. Joe Roop will be in on Saturday, and Eric Markham and I will be back on Sunday. So we'll see you then. Take care, everybody. If you can't be good, be happy. Being bad, but don't be bad. And have a great week. Bye.
Everyone's got an electric eye where the digital spies. They've watched you for so long. I know you're out there somewhere watching me. Stay in line, don't make a mistake. We're watching. We watched you fall.